Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I am Tina Jha, you're watching Perspective. In a significant boost to India-Netherlands relations, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar paid an official visit to the Netherlands from 19th to 20th of May. Strengthening strategic partnerships and advancing cooperation across sectors were high on the agenda, as Dr. Jaishankar held wide-ranging discussions with the top Dutch leadership, including the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister and the Defence Minister of the Netherlands. From defence and technology to trade, water and green energy, the visit of the External Affairs Minister to the Netherlands underscored a shared vision for deeper engagement between the two countries. So we'll talk about key takeaways from this important diplomatic outreach and what it means for the future of India-Netherlands ties in this edition of Perspective. So let's begin by introducing you to the guests. I'm delighted to welcome Ambassador Venu Rajamony, former Ambassador of India to the Netherlands. Thank you, Ambassador, for joining us on Sansad TV. I'm also pleased to welcome Professor Sanjay Bharadwaj, School of International Studies, JNU. Professor, delighted to have you with us on this broadcast as well. Ambassador, let's begin with the significance of this visit, especially in terms of the timing, as it comes just weeks after the Dutch Foreign Minister's India visit and our External Affairs Minister's first trip abroad post-Operation Sindoor.
Yes, as you have rightly pointed out, it is the context that the visit takes place immediately after Operation Sindoor, which is important as far as India's overall foreign policy goals are concerned in terms of exposing the terror links that exist within Pakistan and between various terrorist groups and Pakistan. You are aware that there is a number of Parliament delegations which have also fanned out to various parts of the world. So the Foreign Minister's visit would add to the efforts that the MPs are making. Let me also mention that the Netherlands is a very crucial economic partner of India. It is one of our closest allies within the European Union. As you pointed out, the Dutch Foreign Minister was here in India recently, and in fact, Prime Minister Modi was scheduled to visit Netherlands, but because of India-Pakistan tensions, because of Operation Sindoor, he had to call it off. So in a way, the Foreign Minister going to Netherlands is trying to make up for the Prime Minister's inability to visit Netherlands and to talk to Netherlands leaders and advance our bilateral agenda in which covers a number of crucial sectors.
Professor, coming to you, because robust trade and commercial ties are said to be the cornerstone of strong bilateral relations between any two countries. With the Netherlands, what we see in terms of numbers, the Netherlands is India's 11th largest merchandise trading partner in the world, the largest in the European Union. In fact, between 2023 to 2024, the total merchandise trade with the Netherlands stood at over $27 billion. Help us understand what factors are driving this strong trade and commercial ties between India and the Netherlands?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tina. You can see that we had very historic relations. That Dutch, they came here and they know about this country's potential, and the way India has come out, particularly in the last more than 2 decades, that you can see the economic growth of India and the emerging middle class market has attracted number of countries, including the European. And in the European countries, you can see that the Netherlands is one of them. And the Netherlands is the 4th largest investor in India. Around $52 billion investments in different sectors has been done by the Netherlands. Number 2, that you correctly pointed out, that it is also the 3rd largest export partner in the Europe, in the world, in fact, and the largest in the Europe. And there is around 27 billion trade between the two countries, and that you can also see that there is trade surplus for India with the Netherlands. Yeah. There are a number of good products that has been exported to Netherlands, is like petro products, that engineering goods, like you can see the electronic goods and organic chemicals, drugs and all that. So these are very you can say the sustainable commodities to be exported to them. The important point is that now the two countries, they are working on the capacity build-up. In this capacity build-up, particularly while Foreign Minister Jaishankar is visiting, that we are focusing to have collaborative partnership in defense. Of course, that strategic partnership in defense, you can see that maritime and industrial collaborations are there. But apart of that, the other areas, particularly non-traditional security areas, water, health, and agriculture, these are three areas would be the focus of the foreign minister's visit into the European countries. The other countries he's also going to visit, Germany and all that.
Sure, we'll come to the defense partnership in just a bit. We will discuss that with Ambassador as well. But since you mentioned about the trade surplus, let me take that question across to the Ambassador. Ambassador, as Professor rightly mentioned, we have a significant trade surplus with the Netherlands of about $17.393 billion with this country. So the question here is, how can both sides make this growth more sustainable, more diversified when we are talking about taking our relations one notch higher?
Yeah, I think the relationship is very organically growing and on its own becoming more diverse and expanding fairly rapidly. What we must remember is that Netherlands is our gateway into Europe. The port of Rotterdam is the biggest and the most important port in Europe, and it is through Rotterdam that the bulk of our exports go into Europe. They enter Netherlands, but from Netherlands they fan out to different parts of Europe and to other countries. Similarly, in terms of investments, because Netherlands has a wide network of double taxation arrangements, a large amount of investments coming into India flow through the Netherlands and come into India. Similarly, Indian investments globally also go through the Netherlands. Dutch companies have had a presence in India from before independence. We are all very familiar with Unilever, we know Shell, we know Philips, which most people think is an Indian company, but is in reality a Dutch company. So these companies have had a presence from before independence time, and post-independence, steadily our relationship has grown, covering multiple sectors. Today, there is also an important Indian community within the Netherlands working in diverse sectors of the economy, helping us bridge India and the Netherlands together in all aspects of the economy. Finally, let me mention water, agriculture, and health, which are the three key areas in which our cooperation has been focused in recent times. In terms of water, Netherlands is a world leader. Even countries like the US turn to the Netherlands for assistance when it comes to issues relating to water. And as a huge country, India, and with a large coastline, with a large number of rivers, with climate change resulting in extreme climatic events, frequent floods, typhoons, cyclones. So India has a number of water-related issues to deal with. Our rapid urbanization has also resulted in pollution in our rivers, which needs to be addressed. So for everything related to water, Netherlands is the best partner we can have in the world, and we are already collaborating in a number of areas within the water sector, and we need to expand that further. Similarly, in agriculture, Netherlands, through the use of advanced technology, through the use of greenhouse cultivation, is the second largest exporter of fruits and vegetables and flowers in the whole world. The first is US, which is a huge country, but tiny little Netherlands, by very clever, efficient use of technology and with minimal use of water, has created a miracle in agriculture. So there is tremendous potential for India and the Netherlands to collaborate more in the field of agriculture, to bring Dutch technology to India, to educate our farmers, to introduce practices like precision farming or protected farming, and to boost our production of fruits, of vegetables, of flowers. Lastly, in the field of health, again, this is a sector where Netherlands is a world leader. Philips, we all know as a lighting company, but today it is one of the world's leading health companies. And Netherlands has a large number of small companies which have contributed enormously to the improvement of health. They also have a large number of excellent research facilities, medical colleges, hospitals, all of whom provide the potential for India to collaborate and lift our own health standards and to take our health goals with much greater speed forward as India marches on the path of development. So if you put all these together, the Netherlands is a small country but an economic powerhouse with whom collaboration can result in a win-win partnership for India.
Absolutely. Professor, so while water, agriculture and health remain the three priority sectors of our cooperation with the Netherlands, we're also seeing growing cooperation in areas like digital tech, AI, semiconductors, green hydrogen, to name a few. If I may ask you, what role can the Netherlands play in India's tech and sustainability ambitions? Ambassador rightly said we are on the path to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047, and we need to leverage the potential of these kind of partnerships that we have across the world.
No, that's true. Like India is certainly focusing to have Viksit Bharat by 2047, and the main agenda of this 2047 Viksit Bharat that we are looking, the new technologies, particularly what Ambassador correctly pointed out in the agriculture sector, in water management, and then of course the health sector. That these are the pressing issues we are looking. But we are also looking that cooperation, particularly having the new technologies for the cyber security and AI and all that, and keeping that. Recently we have seen the confrontation between India and Pakistan on the issue of terrorism, the way the Pakistani is exporting terrorism to India. We have seen that technology has played very important, very significant role in the defense. So defense sectors and protecting Indian people. So that intelligence, improving the intelligence service, AI, that would help India to come out the security threats from the violent non-state actors. So cooperation with Netherlands or other developing countries in the Europe will definitely protect the India's security interest in this area. Number two, we are looking the maritime security. The maritime security and sea lane communications and the piracy and all that you further requires the intelligence, and you further requires the technology to trace the secure transportations and supply chain between India, because India is also looking to have India-Middle East economic corridor, and this India-Middle East economic corridor will passes through the Arabian Sea. So there are you know the African pirates and all that. So we are looking forward to have the secure trade with the European countries through this Middle East. So we are looking partnership with the Netherlands and other countries. Then one more areas that India is also looking forward to have collaborations with Netherlands is the port and shipping development. In the port and shipping development, that the two countries, they are when our Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met the Defence Minister of Netherlands, that these areas were discussed. You know that there are 300 Dutch companies. They are working in. They are investing in India, and same manner around more than 300 companies are working in Netherlands to have close collaborations in the new technological areas, the emerging pressing areas between the two countries. So these are the areas that we are looking forward to have a collaborative approach, a strategic partnership with Netherlands, so that we can have a better understanding. One more area that we have seen that particularly in the education sectors, that and the collaborative approach in education sectors, campus developments in India, and having the collaborative or institutional collaborations with the Netherlands will definitely increase the education sectors in India in technology and science sectors. One last point that I would like to mention, that innovation and research. And Netherlands, particularly the different institutions, had been leading in innovations, R&D sectors and all that. I'm sure that collaborations with the Indian institutions and Indian academic sectors will definitely have more patents, more collaboration, research and innovation sectors.
Absolutely. We've covered multiple sectors, but I want to pick on the defense sector and take that question to Ambassador. So the meeting with the Dutch defense minister indeed highlighted the growing defense ties between both countries. Ambassador, what kind of defense collaboration can we expect to see in the future with the Netherlands, can the Dutch be a key partner in India's vision for maritime security, Indo-Pacific cooperation?
Well, Dutch Navy or the Dutch are, while once upon a time they were a world maritime power, today they are a relatively small navy. Their strength is not in military assets or in projecting themselves within the Indo-Pacific, but more in their technologies, in their manufacturing capabilities, and in areas like cybersecurity. So the potential that we have for collaboration is in joint research, is in joint manufacturing, and in going in for advanced elements of technology that go into our larger components. For example, there are a number of weapon systems that DRDO is making as part of our Make in India initiative. There are weapon systems that we are trying to make into India, and for whether it be aircraft or whether it be submarines, whether it be ships, there are crucial technologies which go into all of them. This may be related to navigation, this may be related to targeting of missiles, this might be related to electronic warfare. So for all these technologies, Netherlands can be a very important source. And if we can strike agreements with their companies, most of which are in the private sector, to jointly build, to jointly develop, and to jointly innovate, it would be a wonderful step forward.
Professor, post-Operation Sindoor, what's come to the fore is that after China, the Netherlands was the biggest weapon supplier to Pakistan between 2020 to 2024. So help us and our viewers understand what kind of defense cooperation does the Netherlands have with Pakistan, which is our adversary? What factors are driving this cooperation? And can India sort of break this nexus with the Netherlands? Because what we also understand is that Netherlands, unlike China and Turkey, do not have a politically or an ideological sort of a relationship with Pakistan.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me start from there that I think the core purpose, the core issue, while Prime Minister Modi could not visit to European countries, including Norway and Croatia and all these countries, that there were clear-cut message that India is suffering from terrorism. And I think the first statement had been given by the two foreign ministers, the Indian foreign minister and the Netherlands foreign ministers, that we are against the terrorism, we condemn the terrorism, any kind of terrorism. So outrightly, the Netherlands has extended and given support to India to fight against the terrorism. This is one thing. Second thing, that there are clear-cut line has been drawn in recent past where Turkey and Azerbaijan has supported and becoming terror sponsoring countries and supporting to Pakistan. I'm sure their Netherlands will understand that what kind of, if they are supplying any kind of arms and ammunition to Pakistan, that would be used to support the terror outfits in Pakistan, and these will be used against India and other countries to spread the terrorism. So I'm sure that while External Minister Jaishankar is visiting, he will convey that this defense partnership and exporting arms to Pakistan should be stopped, because they are not used for the protection of the Pakistani people, but instead they are promoting and supporting it to terrorist groups, terrorist outfits to kill the innocent people that had happened in Pahalgam. So I'm sure that this visit would be one of the successful to convey this message to these countries. The second point is that the way alignment, realignment is taking place globally, in fact, you can see, and the way the access is, or you can say, polarizing the world on the issue of terrorism. And when China has been supporting to Pakistan outrightly, and the way the Chinese, they are creating an alternative discourse in Islamic world, that would also be understood by the European countries, including Netherlands, that the Chinese, they are trying to polarize the Gulf countries against the UAE and Saudi Arabia, and creating a new leadership by Turkey and Pakistan and all these countries. So I think that message will also be conveyed clearly, that this polarization should not happen for the peace of the for the global peace. One more thing that I would also bring it here that India has a very strong defense partnership, and also that India is importing nuclear reactor from Netherlands, other than other products like the machinery apparatus and boilers and obstacles and all that. But this nuclear reactors is also a very strong support to India's civil nuclear purposes and all that.
Okay.
So yes. So this will be.
Let me also bring in Ambassador on the aspect of terrorism, because that is something that has affected us for decades. Just starting today, we've begun with our unprecedented diplomatic outreach. The first batch has already left. Ambassador, when it comes to Netherlands, we do share a historical relationship. Our partnership has evolved over the decades. We are cooperating in multiple sectors. We've discussed that. But when it comes to issues like terrorism, how does the Netherlands align with India and its stance against zero tolerance policy?
Netherlands is totally in support, and I think that has been specifically mentioned by our External Affairs Minister after his meeting with his counterpart on the question of condemning the horrific incident that happened in Pahalgam, on adopting all countries of the world adopting a policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism. Netherlands would stand very closely with India, and there is no two questions about it. Netherlands is an important voice within the European Union. It is a key player in all important decisions of the European Union. The former Prime Minister of Netherlands is the current Secretary General of NATO. So all these factors put together give them an important role in the decision making within EU. On the question of terrorism, there is no doubt at all that both Netherlands and the EU would strongly support India. However, all of them would also have a policy that India and Pakistan should resolve their differences through dialogue and through discussions.
Okay, Professor, to wrap up the conversation, looking ahead, what are the top 2 or 3 areas where we can expect major progress in adding further momentum to the India-Netherlands ties, especially after this recent high-level visit?
I think one message should be further conveyed to the world community, including the European countries, that India is a law-abiding country, and India believes in the peace, because India is a home of, you can see that Buddha and Mahatma Gandhi, that we talk about non-violence and all that. So I think that this message should be conveyed, that any kind of violent non-state actors or terror acts would not be tolerated, and there will be zero tolerance policy against it, and we are looking forward to cooperations from these European countries. Second point is, of course, that we are also looking to become a 5 trillion economy in near future and Viksit Bharat by 2047. We are looking a cooperation with the European countries, including Netherlands, in all the areas which builds the India's capacity and skill and semi-skilled workforce. So definitely these 2 areas will establish India's voice globally, and India will definitely march ahead for its goal in collaboration with these developed countries. One last point, that is the environment and climate change. I think that India is abiding with the Paris Agreement, and Netherlands and all these countries will understand that India, being a law-abiding country, will also talks about the human security, about the global goods, and including the global commons. So these are the areas where the 2 countries can work and collaborate in future.
Okay, Ambassador, the last word from you. How does this visit reflect India's broader foreign policy approach in Europe? You said the Netherlands is a gateway for India to the Europe. How does this visit add further momentum to our growing ties?
Well, as you are aware, even before the outbreak of India-Pakistan hostilities, Prime Minister Modi had scheduled a visit to Netherlands, which shows the importance that he attaches to both Netherlands as well as to Europe as a whole. The fact that the foreign minister has gone almost immediately after the dust has settled on Operation Sindoor and has not only spoken about Pakistan and terrorism, but also about the wide, diverse agenda, important agenda that we have on our bilateral front, shows the importance that we attach to the Netherlands. The foreign minister, in his interaction with strategic experts, has pointed out that we live in a world of multipolarity and strategic autonomy. The US is withdrawing from many parts of the world, and groups of nations like the European Union are rising as a major power. They are going to have to play a much bigger, a much more important role in the world of the future. So India clearly sees us and the European Union as two poles in a multipolar world which is being built. And both India and European Union are in the process of developing strategic autonomy. We completely on our own. They used to be tied very closely to the US, but now in the context of the post-Trump dispensation, they are trying to develop their own strategic autonomy. So we are two key players in the world who can contribute a lot to the establishment of peace and security, to finding collaborative problems to the challenges that the world confronts, and also to improving the lot of the people in our countries through collaboration in the areas of advanced science and technology in critical sectors like water, agriculture, and health, and in areas like defense. So the future is very bright. This visit marks an important landmark on the path of progress between India and the Netherlands, on the path of guiding our people to a better quality of life and a future which is embedded in the new technologies, the new developments, and the tumultuous change that is happening in the 21st century.
Absolutely. So with that, we'll have to wrap up the conversation. Time allows me to take up only that much on this edition of Perspective. Thank you, Professor Bhardwaj and Ambassador, for joining us on Sansad TV, sharing your thoughts, your views with us and our viewers. And to you viewers, thank you very much for your time as well.
To watch more programs of Sansad TV, subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share them.